As smoking rates fall and demand for smoke-free nicotine options grows, Canadian life sciences firm Rapid Dose Therapeutics is positioning itself at the heart of this shift. Using its QuickStrip technology, the company has extended a partnership to advance NicStrip, a fast-dissolving oral strip that delivers nicotine without smoke, vapor, or waste. It's my pleasure to welcome back Mark Upstell, CEO of Rapid Dose, to our program. Now, Mark, if we can start with the big picture, talk to us about what's driving this global move to smoke-free formats for nicotine and how NicStrip fits in this overall trend.
Great. Well, thanks, Rachel. It's a pleasure to be here again. We understand the consumers are ready for a smoke-free alternative, something that's safer, that can provide discreet, convenient, and precise dosing for nicotine users. One of the things we've done through our partnership with our colleagues is we've developed two different products. One is a self-dissolving strip, and the other is a non-dissolvable strip. Certain regions across the world require the product to be disposed of, such as a snus or a tobacco chew product. So those areas have to have something that is disposed of. Once again, we have patented both in the oral thin film strip technology, and we believe that the market is right for this based on what we're seeing from oral health consumption.
And you've extended an agreement with a partner, a nicotine partner, valued at up to $1.8 million. Can you walk us through what this agreement is all about and what this says about their confidence and the commercial readiness of NicStrip?
So we've been partnering with this company for almost 3 years now, and we've developed many different products. We've done many focus groups and market tests to understand what the output and what the market is really looking for when it comes to consuming nicotine-based products. And we understand it's a very large global market, which is very exciting. The demand out there is something that we see because smoke-free alternatives, as we see in the newspapers, is coming. Smoking is going to be also discontinued to a certain percent in certain countries. Governments are mandating it. So there's various programs that are very exciting, and I think we're well positioned right now with our partners and what we've accomplished to date.
Well, Health Canada is now reviewing your product range. How significant is this, and what's the expected timeline for feedback from the regulator?
So we submitted our application to Health Canada some time ago. In 2019, we submitted an application to be able to sell our nicotine strips in Canada. We got waylaid because of COVID hit, so that project got put on hold. We resubmitted recently, and FY26, we should be in a good position to be able to distribute and sell the NicStrip across Canada, subject to Health Canada's final regulations. We're currently involved in a pharmacokinetic study right now to prove how fast the strip goes, or the nicotine with the strip goes into the bloodstream, what's the dosing, and how long does it last. So these are things that we will be submitting to the last little piece for Health Canada, and this data will also be required for FDA approval as we go down south.
Now, my follow-up question regarding your extended partnership is, what is next? You've already worked with this group for 3 years. Why extend the partnership, and what will it enable you to do?
So one of the things that we're looking at with our partner is we've developed the intellectual property, which is pretty solid in our opinion. We're looking at that right now in conjunction with the market and what's out there. We've done our due diligence, and now between us, we're looking at that because that's very critical when you start to look at things. And when you start looking at things globally, the impact from different regions and countries can have a dramatic effect on how you go to market, what your launch program is, and how we market. One of the interesting things we did is the female market. One of the studies that we looked at is women really don't want to put things in their mouth and spit into a cup and so on. It's just
No, we don't.
It's just not classy. So one of the things about the self-dissolving that we were looking at is multiple flavors as well. What's the difference in certain regions? Is it cinnamon? Is it mint? Is it mango? And, once again, it's just not classy to be, sitting in a boardroom or in a train or an airport and spitting into a cup. So we see a huge opportunity in that demographic, and that's globally.
Mm-hmm. Well, NicStrip is built on your existing platform, QuickStrip platform. How does this tech give you an edge in scalability, if at all, speed, to market across other product categories, including nicotine?
So it's an interesting question because when you look at the technology, it's a delivery platform. We can deliver almost any medicine there you find in your medicine cabinet today or molecule. And as you walk into a pharmacist, you will see a QuickStrip for pain management, for anxiety, for dental. When you walk into a convenience store, you'll see our vitamin B12, our caffeine, our nicotine. When you walk into the pharmacy, you'll see a nicotine strip. So there's various markets that will be there, and we think this new route of delivery can replace a lot of the people that don't like the needles and have a hard time swallowing pills.
Yeah, your tech actually reminds me of those Listerine, breath strips.
Yes.
Does it work as fast as those, in terms of how quickly it can dissolve in your mouth?
Yes, we did a study with the University of Las Vegas a few years ago, and what we chose was the caffeine strip and caffeine molecule. And what we found out is that the strip dissolved under 15 seconds in the mouth. The caffeine went into the bloodstream under 60 seconds, and 86% of the caffeine went in under 3 minutes. Never been done before. When you take a pill, it goes through your stomach, first pass metabolism. It'll take 20 minutes to 2 hours to take effect. So we have something we believe is very game changing when you start looking at a new route of administration, plus very fast acting. So our focus is to look at some of these areas that are very fast acting that can provide differences for people that have various therapeutic issues. The other thing that's important to understand is that the amount of caffeine that's consumed every day is quite large. When you start looking at places like military applications or people that can't get to the bathroom or the washroom to brush their teeth, we have dental products for those types of applications. So we think it's it's very ubiquitous to deliver medications in that new road.
Well, last question before you go is, how quickly you're going to be making money? What's the revenue potential here
So
moving forward?
the nicotine market is huge. There's about 20 billion cigarettes done a year in the marketplace right now. The government's now looking at various governments. You look at Australia, the UK. By 2030, they're mandating that 50% or more of their revenue it has to be from alternative or non-smoking products. That's very exciting for us to be able to come in and partner with the companies that provide that last mile and can deliver the product to the consumer.
Okay, Mark, we're going to leave it there for now, but looking forward to seeing updates out of Rapid Dose.
Great. Well, thank you, Rachel.
Absolutely. You can go to our site, as always, and search the ticker symbol, which is below for you, to look at what the community is saying about the company. Thanks for watching.